Hello, everyone. Welcome to the basement. Humans, beings, aliens, ghosts, plants, animals, vegetables, minerals. I'm joined as
You added
always by
some.
Trevor.
Hi. Hi. Lots of things are welcome. Hi, I'm
There's
Trevor.
very few things that are not welcome. Only things that end in ist that are bad. Those are the only things that are not welcome.
Yep.
So we're definitely talking about Dear Evan Hansen, probably for a majority of the show, if I'm going to guess, especially since we have a bit of a short one today. But first, I want to get it out of the way. Next week's show is going to be a birthday extravaganza for Trevor. And our goal today is going to be that for every $10 threshold that we reach, I will divulge a detail about a person that is booked, an
Ooh.
event or thing that is scheduled to happen, and about our big goal for next week. All the proceeds from next week's show will be going directly to Trevor for either his Blu-ray fund or his college fund. So if we want to find out some more details early, I will be trinkling, blah, 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 words. It's still really hard to talk. I will be disseminating them slowly over the next week. But if we want an early sneak preview, then that is how we can make that happen.
Then
So
pay us.
also, by the way, we have a Dan Merle hiding away.
Hello.
Is that Muffin?
That is Muffin. Of course, she saw that we were going on the air and immediately jumped on my lap. Hello, Mr. Bond.
Okay. Well, Dan, do you want to talk about Dear Evan Hansen, or do you want to just pop in when you're ready?
Just pop me in whenever. Why don't you two chat and then I'll pop in?
Okay, bye-bye.
I will briefly speed run talk about what I watched this week before we get into Dear Evan Hansen.
That is fair.
Because I saw some interesting stuff. So how much of your homework did you do, Mara?
So my homework has had a small postponement because there's going to be something I do next week specifically about my homework.
Interesting. So I started Ted Lasso.
Is it pure joy?
I like it a lot. I did not watch either of the Bond movies though.
That is okay. You've got a whole other week.
I'll postpone my homework as well. Yeah. All right. So what did I watch? I rewatched Finding Nemo. Because that movie's just like a lot of fun.
It's so cute, right?
Probably rewatching it. Probably one of Pixar's best.
Oh, definitely. I think it's up there. It's top tier.
What's your favorite Pixar movie? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I mean, I feel like the easy answer is Up, but that's also because did I mention this on the show yet about my theater experience watching Up?
I don't think you have, no.
Well, it's a short story. So my biological mother died right before that movie came out, and I was blissfully unaware about the opening montage, just like most people were. And I saw it in the middle of the day when I wasn't on duty, and I was the only adult there without a child. And one of the only times ever that a human being in a story made me get emotional. And I was just like sobbing loudly, and I was asked to leave.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Wow.
So maybe that one.
Yeah, the hot take about Up, I think that the first 20 minutes are perfection, one of the best things ever put on film. The rest of the movie is just average Pixar, I think.
It's not necessarily anything special, although I also really respond to like dogs that can talk like people.
That's true. I would probably say Inside Out would be my favorite.
I only saw that for the first time last year.
Really? What do you think?
I really liked it.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, then I watched Friends of the Reunion.
Oh yeah, what'd you think? I'm not a big Friends person, but I know you and Clara are watching it, right?
Clara is. I'll watch it occasionally. I've watched all the important stuff because my parents required me to. As I've said, I think on one of our first ones with Brandon and Sabrina, I have a hard time committing to TV shows just because, like with Friends, there's a lot of it, and it's like 120 hours of stuff.
So you've seen the one with the
yeah, I've seen the important stuff. I've got the good ones. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I mean, it's it was cool to see them together again. But I don't think it worked as well as like how it could have for other people, just because like it's I didn't get that into it. I saw Malignant. Sorry, everybody, it isn't that good.
I mean, I think it's definitely a watchable movie because it's like bad,
Yes.
but like good bad, but definitely not great. At least for me. If you like it, that's
Yes.
fine. But
I'm more than, and that is my subjective opinion. I'm more than happy for you if you like it. Did not work for me. I'm just not a big fan of James Wan in general. Like, hot take, Furious 7 is his best movie.
He's hit or miss with me.
Yeah, like I thought Aquaman was fine. I'm not as big into The Conjuring as other people. I think I would say that's up there for me. I don't like The Conjuring 2 that much. It didn't
I like the second one quite a bit.
really. Okay. It just, I don't know, the Conjuring movies after the first one, anything in that series just felt so repetitive, at
That's
least
fair.
to me. But yeah, wasn't a big fan of Malignant. Sorry, everybody. I saw Kate with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Oh yeah.
It's fine. I like Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's cool. It's cool seeing her as like a leading as a leading actor in like a like blockbuster type action movie. And
She's
then
my
everything,
spirit animal.
yeah, everything around her is just which is kind of unfortunate because she's good. I want to see Mary Elizabeth Winstead do more cool stuff because she's cool. But she just deserved a better project around her, I guess. Let's see. I rewatched The Matrix. And yeah, I don't. I think that the concept is amazing. I don't know. I've seen it 3 times now, and I feel like that the screenplay is lacking. Like, it feels like such a paint by numbers screenplay, just laid on top of a really interesting concept. And I feel like the screenplay could have been way more interesting for how interesting the concept was. I know I'm
I
in
will
the
say this.
very
Just
big
bear in mind
minority.
though, like at the time, not just the effects, but the overall
Yeah.
idea of the Matrix and of like higher consciousness and that sort of stuff before it got all wonky in the sequels was pretty groundbreaking for its time.
Yeah. And I think that's also like and I said this on the last show. Like, I think that's part of it for me. I've seen it out of out of context. And sure, I can recognize its historical importance, but I'll never be able to see the movie for the first time with that mindset.
That's how I
So
feel
like,
about Pulp Fiction.
yeah, like I would kind of agree with that. Like, I don't think that Pulp Fiction is the great. Like, I still think that The Matrix is a good movie. Like, I like it. I've seen it 3 times. I think it's a very rewatchable movie. I just don't. I just out of historical context, like I don't think that it holds up for me as well as, like, I don't see it as like a masterpiece of film, I guess, contrary to other people. But it's, it's just me, and it's, like I said, it's probably an age thing. But that screenplay just feels very paint by numbers to me, at least. I saw My Winnipeg. Mar, have you heard of this movie?
I have not, but I'm a
So,
big fan of the actual Winnipeg.
it it's an experimental like documentary from Guy Medine. He's a Canadian filmmaker. And Mara, it's in 4:3 and it's in black and white.
Oh dear, someone's gonna kidnap you.
I actually I bought it. Here's the criterion.
Ooh, pretty.
The horse
Hold on,
stuck in
there's a
ice.
Criterion mention, so I got to bring Dan on.
Did somebody say Criterion?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so okay, so this movie is really weird. So it's only an hour 20 minutes. And it's like a love letter to Winnipeg, Canada, in like the weirdest way. So like it just like it's basically just this guy monologuing for like an hour and 20 minutes, about just all like the weird histories of Winnipeg. And then it's like it's playing like stock footage over it, but then he's also like he's trying to leave Winnipeg and like leave all of his memories behind. So then he does like a weird like Synecdoche, New York type of thing where like he gets a bunch of actors to recreate moments from his childhood to try and see whether he should leave Winnipeg or not and see if he can reconnect with the memories of his past. But it's like it's edited in such a like disorienting way where like it just like it's throwing you out of the movie and then like immersing you in it at the same time. It's so weird. I
Sounds
love it a lot.
interesting.
It's
I feel like
really
we have to
really
watch
good.
that at some point.
I really like it. So out of all of the people I follow on Letterboxd, which is like 300 people, only one person has seen it, and it's Video Drew, which
say it's
kind
not
of
me.
makes sense.
I mean, I'm not presuming that you follow me on Letterboxd, but
I do.
seen
I
it.
do.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, like not. It's so it. I believe at TIFF a couple years ago it was like voted one of the. I think in 2010 it was voted one of the top 10 Canadian films of the decade.
Ooh.
So yeah, I really really like this movie, and I would highly suggest people check it out. It's weird. It's not gonna be for everybody, but I really really like it. So
Fascinating.
recommendation.
Yeah.
I watched it because of the Letterboxd seasonal challenge where they'll give you like a prompt and then you have to find a movie that matches it. So this was like find a movie by like Guy Medin specifically, the Canadian director.
Yeah, it's streaming on Criterion Channel.
It is, yes.
Yeah, they have what? Wait, what was this challenge they have on the Letterboxd?
So it's the Letterboxd seasonal challenge. So this is the 7th one, I think. So it runs from like fall to spring, so like in a school year basically, and then there's a couple weeks off for Christmas. So I think it's 33 movies this year. So at the start of it, you can make a list. It's only in the second week, so you could still join in.
Maybe I should join it.
At the start of it, you make a list, and
Muffin,
then
stop licking your legs.
you can just go through the list each week. It's just one movie a week, and it will give you a prompt, and it's for previously unseen films or like films that you've only seen like once or etc. So like the first one was watch a movie with like gambling scenes, or the second one was watch a movie by Guy Medin. So like
find it on Letterboxd here.
There's one I can send you.
Yeah, send it to me.
My link. I'll send it to you after the show.
Yeah.
Muffin, stop it.
There's
Muffin.
one that's really fun. It's like watch a movie starring a person with D in their name. So it's Billy D. Williams, or a movie with D. Wallace.
D. Wallace.
Yeah.
She's delightful.
Yeah. So it's like there's a bunch of just fun little challenges. But it's fun. So
It does sound like fun.
I've so far watched those two. I'm gonna watch the Japanese horror film House, I think, for one.
Hey, that's on our list.
We are too.
So.
That's on our Halloween list this year. Spoiler alert: 1 out of 31.
So yeah, there's a lot that I'm looking forward to seeing. But
Nice.
Yeah, Letterboxd is cool.
Letterboxd is cool.
I really like it. Let's see, what else did I watch? Okay, I watched this really cool short film called The Game. So it is about a football or football/soccer referee. So it's about a Swiss. I'm just gonna call it football because that's its actual name. A Swiss football referee, and it follows them as they're refereeing the game the entire time. But it's really cool. So it's shot in 24 FPS and it's in 185.1. And so it looks really cool. Like you of course have never probably seen a soccer game shot in 185.1 in 24 FPS. So it looks really cool. But he's mic'd up, and it's just like a regular game. But he's mic'd up, and you see all of his interactions with players, which is kind of cool. Because I ref soccer /
I was about to say, did it remind you of your adventures in refereeing?
Yeah. I actually am
the
going
soccer
to
moms when they get too in your face.
Yeah. I had last night. So there's a tournament going on that I'm roughing this weekend. It's about like an hour out of town. But yeah, so I'm roughing it last night though. Were the first two my first two games. There were coaches that fought after the game.
Coaches fought?
Yeah,
Like adult people that fought about youth soccer.
10-year-olds.
I was about to say, what's the age range that we're
So
talking
this
here?
game was 10-year-olds. The coaches were not happy with each other the entire game. So I called them over at halftime. I was like, dudes, chill, like calm down.
I love that you're the adult in the room, Trevor.
I told my parents as soon as I got in the car, so I had to scold some 40-year-old men today. But I called them over. It was like, chill, guys, like, just calm down. It's 10-year-olds. Like, I've made up my mind of how I'm going to call the game. I'm not going to change in the middle of the game. You guys yelling isn't going to change anything. So we should calm down. So they didn't say anything for the rest of the game. As soon as I blew the whistle to end the game, they ran at each other and started pushing each other. So that was so I walked away and let the field managers handle that.
No, you shouldn't be getting into the middle of that.
Yeah, I have to. I say I have to. I like it. I'm reffing a high school and college bracket semifinals and finals tomorrow. So that's gonna be fun. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. I like reffing. But anyways, the game, it's a cool short. It's on the New Yorker YouTube channel. On my birthday, I watched Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Solid choice.
Because Wes Anderson's the best. Yeah, it's really cool. My mom said that it was the first Bill Murray movie where she didn't dislike Bill Murray. So that was cool.
Wow.
She's not a Bill Murray fan.
Okay.
This made her like Bill Murray, though. I kind of want to show her Lost in Translation because I feel like she would like that more. Yeah, because Bill Murray, it's weird how he's kind of transitioned to like more independent stuff.
Ooh, you should show her Zombieland. She might like him in that.
Yeah, she might like him in Zombieland.
Maybe. Because what was he in last year? Was it called On the Rocks?
On the Rocks, yeah, on Apple TV.
Yeah. And I think he got a Golden Globe nomination for it, right?
I think he did, yeah.
So, yeah, like he's kind of transitioned, and I think part of that was through Wes Anderson with Rushmore. That
was a big turning point for him. Yeah.
Because then he went on, and then Lost in Translation was 5 years later. Zissou was 2004. Yeah. Garth, my birthday is September 21st. But yeah, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou is cool. I saw The Card Counter. Okay, so.
Oh yeah, the new Schrader movie. What do you think?
Yeah,
we almost saw that in LA, but we didn't go.
I like First Reformed.
Well, yeah, it's in 4:3, not black and white, but it's in 4:3.
It's in 4:3. Like it's just if you want me to like a movie, like if the Emoji Movie was in 4:3, I would be like, it's kind of a masterpiece, guys. So
I disagree.
It's a commentary.
Thank you, everybody. But yeah, so The Card Counter, Oscar Isaac is great. Tiffany Haddish is not. It didn't work for me. I liked all of the cards stuff, like all the gambling stuff. I wish it would.
Nice.
I wish it would have focused more on that. Then there was this weird like government conspiracy plot that was kind of like thrown in, and then it felt like I was trying to do two things at once, and I didn't really care about that. It was like Ty Sheridan and Willem Dafoe were there, and like they're cool, but like I didn't really care about them. Yeah. I wanted to see more of like the card stuff. I did learn how to like play blackjack because of this movie, so that was cool. But yeah, I wanted to focus more on like cards than the other stuff, because it was just fine. Which I was kind of disappointed because I do like Paul Schrader.
I do too. Well, he's a little hit or miss for me, but yeah, we know a card counter. His name is Robbie. Robert Parker.
Robbie's gonna be here.
I assume Robert. Like
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can count.
Robert
so
Parker.
He's going to definitely be on the basement in 2 weeks because he's going to be tied up and forced to be.
Yeah, he has no choice.
Forced to be. I rewatched The Net because it's perfect, and then I watched Cry Macho.
How was that?
Clint Eastwood should stop making movies. Sorry, that's harsh, but he should be done. It's the line delivery is laughably terrible from him at certain points. So I was thinking about this like yesterday after I'd seen the movie. It weirdly reminds me of Star Trek: The Motion Picture because it feels like the story could be 20 minutes and then it's extended out by unnecessary shots that are lingering on pointless plot points. And then the ending was just, I won't spoil anything because I'm sure there's plenty of people who are diehard about seeing this movie. But the ending is not pleasant. It's not, it made me uncomfortable. Did he have a three-way? Did it resolve with him having a three-way like in The Mule twice? Three-way, that's the tamest way that I could put it.
But he's a baby.
Why did you
Uh-oh, we lost him.
Oh, I've ruined it. Although you're 16 now, so it's a little better.
That's way worse than saying three-way. That boss baby
it's worse when you actually say three-way when that's on the screen.
Oh, yeah, FBI. All right. I have to leave it.
But yeah, Cry Macho isn't a good movie.
Cry Macho is not good. Noted.
You know what else wasn't good? Dear Evan Hansen.
Oh, hey, what do you know?
Because Dan is only going to be here for about 10 more minutes,
Yes.
and then he's going to get ready for the Patreon watch along of Green Lantern, which I will be attending shortly.
Speaking of bad movies.
Hey, so many.
Oh, they're totally different types of bad, though.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So, Mara, would you like to make opening statements on Dear Evan Hansen? I'll pull up my notes.
Oh, golly, would I? Okay, I'm going to say
Mara's
a lot.
texts yesterday were so great.
Oh, actually, you should pull those up and read them in a minute, Dan.
Yes, I will.
Actually, Can I make my opening statement? Just one sentence. The thing that I texted you, Mara.
Yes, you may.
Okay, so my top note is that Ben Platt was so bad he could probably win a Golden Globe.
Ben Platt was playing a character, Trevor, who was 1 year older than you.
Yeah. So Dan, that would be like if you were cast to play me.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't quite work.
Doesn't work.
No, it does not. Thank you, Garth.
Like I liked what you said. Like this could have been somebody's breakthrough.
Yeah.
Instead, it was Ben Platt.
So Dan, I propose that we very quickly read the text message exchange.
Yes, we should say Mara was in the back row of the theater.
In the corner.
There was nobody around her.
My brightness was all the way down. There was no one near me. I did not make anybody's experience bad by texting Dan. I just want to be
honestly,
very clear.
you probably would have made it better. Let's be honest.
Maybe. Okay, so I'm going to censor the bad words because Trevor is still a minor child. Okay, so
you did just put up the boss baby movie.
I did. Cat hair in my mouth. Just excuse me. Okay, this is me to Dan. It starts out pretty good. I can see it start creeping toward the edge of the cliff, though. The thing that saves it from the beginning is how good of a singer he is. But he looks so effing old.
He's incredibly talented and way too effing old. Ha ha.
I see the film careening over the edge of the cliff. Everyone inside the car is burning to death as we speak. Or, well, sing.
Ha 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 ha.
Their charred bodies are still smiling and singing.
At least they're having fun.
Wow, this is painful. Why am I in pain when they're the ones that were just burned alive?
They were the lucky ones.
They somehow got back into the car and drove into the ocean, and their smoldering corpses are drowning. Why am I supposed to in any way root for this kid?
That is an excellent, excellent question.
It's over. Everyone is sufficiently dead. Forever.
With a song in their heart.
Imagine if somebody tuned into the show for the first time and heard that.
Yeah, right?
Okay. I'm gonna say a lot of words. I'm gonna say them really fast because there's precious amount of time. Okay. First and foremost, Ben Platt is a fantastic singer. He is going to make this at least somewhat redeemable for a lot of people. Also, by the way, we're talking spoilers because this has been out as a production for years. So spoilers impending. I absolutely love the idea that as a person who suffers from depression and anxiety and has struggled with mental illness the majority of their life, that it can cultivate a conversation for younger people, especially about depression and anxiety while you're going through adolescence, because it's just about the hardest time in your life for everything. However, I think that they spent a little too much time in the beginning focusing on how hard things were for him. And I really wish they would have focused on the end about how hard things should have been for him as a consequence of his actions, rather than giving us a singing montage of him just redeeming himself very easily. Like, we got to see these parents receive death threats over the phone and like torture over their loss of their child, and he didn't have to experience even one iota of that, at least as far as we the viewer were concerned.
They looked at him really mean in the cafeteria.
Yeah, they stared at him with no words whatsoever and no gestures of any kind.
One thing of my notes was the characters are like clichédly mean. Like they're the epitome of the we're mean.
But another thing that really, really bothered me, though, is with as much as they did in the beginning of the movie to give a really positive look at the reality of mental illness, as in if you have to be in treatment, which I've been in treatment for like 20 years. If you have to be medicated, I've been on medication for almost as long as I can remember. At the end, he was seemingly much better. He had helped to overcome some of these things, but they mentioned specifically that he stopped going to appointments, at least one of them, and they never show him taking his medication again after the first act. And it could send the message that getting a girlfriend and getting people to like you through lies is a better solution to help you work through your mental issues than medication and treatment, which I'm not saying everyone needs to be medicated. Sometimes it's a transitional thing. Sometimes you don't ever need it and you just need to talk to an experienced professional. But I feel like that could send a bad message to young, impressionable people about like what you can do to try to help yourself become more comfortable with who you are and overcome anxiety.
Yeah.
As broad strokes. I will say, though, the conversation about medication is like the young people version of one of my favorite scenes ever put to film from Silver Linings Playbook at the dinner table, where they're talking about all their different medications, because I've taken every one of those medications. I've taken the ones, I'm taking some of the ones they talk about in this movie. And I love that candid, frank conversation, especially in Silver Linings Playbook, because it makes the other people at the table who are acting like Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence are like something's wrong with them or that they're broken, talking openly about their treatment and stuff, except they're the people that are a-holes for judging them and making them othered. So I love that. And I loved that. Amandla Stenberg was a standout in this movie for many reasons, which Trevor will talk about. Also, she's just like painfully pretty. I cannot wait to see her continue to grow up. Because I think she's old enough to be looked at as being attractive now, I hope.
Yeah.
I just walked into dangerous territory. Take it away, Trevor.
You're the one who threw up the boss baby on. Let's okay. Yeah. So Amanda.
Wow, that's how it's going to be, Trevor.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah. So Amanda Stenberg is the best. So I should have been the target audience for this movie. Okay. I'm a teenager. I'll be completely open and honest. I have a bunch of anxiety. I've seen a therapist. Like, I should have been the target audience for this movie, and it didn't work. So I'll briefly read through my notes. So one thing that really bothered me, the editing is so terrible. Like the editing looked like a high school student trying to make a music video. Like, it was
Do you mean a 30-year-old high school student trying to make a music video?
Heyo.
Nice. I see Mara, you confirmed in chat she's 22. You're
I'm okay. Everything's fine. We're all fine here now. How are you?
all of the women in this movie are great. Amanda Stenberg, Caitlin Dever, Amy Adams, they're great. I really liked all of them in this movie. I think that they gave really good performances. Again, specifically Amanda Stenberg. I will bring this up. I hope that she gets an Oscar nomination for this, not for acting, for writing the Anonymous Ones, is I think the name of the song, because she wrote that song, and it's an original song for the movie. It is the best song of the movie, which says something about the original Broadway show, because it wasn't like, I think it's the only memorable song from the movie, which is also disappointing, because like, music, at least to me, because I feel like musicals are supposed to have like a bunch of memorable songs, and like the only one that was memorable wasn't in the original show. To me. So, but anyways, I hope that she gets an Oscar nomination, because I honestly think that she was snubbed for The Hate U Give, because I think that movie is really, really good, and I think that she's really, really good in it. So I said side characters are comically cliched mean. So I found that the song placement was really awkward. Like, I don't think the songs in this are bad. Like, they're fine. I do think that they are like forgettable, but they're fine. But this was like one of the first times when I've watched a musical and felt like it was out of place that they were bursting into song. Because I really like musicals. I mean, La La Land's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, I got accused of hating musicals after my review. They're like, "Oh, another musical that Dan gives a bad review to." I'm like, I love musicals. Yeah, I really love musicals. Like, I hate when the movies are bad.
Yeah, like it, and like I felt another thing is like all of the music cues sounded the exact same, like before they were about to start singing. Like I counted like 4 or 5 that used like this same exact or like nearly identical music cues.
Well, it drove me a little bit crazy, and I'll have to jump off soon. 2 things I wanted to point out. Number one, they didn't really adapt the music very well because like the music still had the little like on Broadway, the original songs, they oftentimes fill in with like a dun, like a note to like live, it's sort of let the audience know, and the song's done. It's like a clap sign, and they all had that in there still, which is just like, it's not, you can adapt these for the movies. The second thing is, if you ever watch the movie again, I noticed this about halfway through. Maybe I'll write Spencer J. Gilbert and see if they'll put this in the honest trailer. If you count the number of times Ben Platt goes, he starts a sentence with, like it's like a lip smack. It's a lot. I noticed it about halfway through the movie, and then I couldn't stop noticing. Is he starts a sentence with a? It drove me crazy. Crazy, I tells you.
Yeah. So we did get a Streamlabs. I'll read it out in just a second. I will just say though, after this year, maybe Amy Adams and Julianne Moore should stop being in movies together, because the products have not been great this year. We've given them 2 chances.
What else were they in together this year?
Woman in the Window.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But we did get a Streamlab from Hitman Hudson. Hello, very frustrated that Arkansas beat Texas A&M today in football. Also, I lied about having a way bigger role in a dude's death because I had a crush on his sister. Yeah, so that was another massive problem I had, because it basically implied that he was, because it set up that he like had a crush on her before any of this. So like it implied that he was like leading a family through emotional peril and lying to like in the end hundreds of thousands of people just so that way he could be with the girl. And then in the end it kind of redeemed it and like made it seem like he was still going to be with the girl.
Yeah, she certainly didn't dislike him. Like, I'll tell you something, if somebody ever did that to my family, I would never ever talk to that person again, like ever, never, under any circumstances. Set the car on fire. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, now you're just admitting to committing, like you'd commit a crime, but like
I said, probably hypothetically speaking, nothing is a crime.
That's fair. Also,
I've seen a lot of procedural television regarding laws and order and major crimes.
I hate to cut my contribution short, but I do have to duck out and get ready for this watch along. So I hope I don't use up all of our bandwidth, because I'm about to open another StreamYard window and start streaming Green Lantern. So,
well, you know what? If something bad happens, it's been fun, everyone. You don't come here for perfection. You come here for whatever it is we give you.
Mara may look like she's broadcasting on a potato soon. My apologies.
Hashtag blame Green Lantern.
Blame Green Lantern. Yes, blame Green Lantern.
I thought it was going to be hashtag Mara is a potato.
No. You're a yam at worst.
Okay, bye, Dan.
To comment on that hit, man. Very frustrated with the Wisconsin Badgers too today. They lost 41-13 to Notre Dame. It was tied 10-10 going into the 4th quarter.
By the way, there was another Streamlabs that came in that put us over our first goal, Trevor. It's for you.
Ooh, from Kenneput. Love the show. Happy belated birthday, Trevor. Thank you, Ken.
So, as promised, by the way, before we resume Evan Hansen things, yes. So I can confirm that there's going to be a significant amount of dungeon personnel that will be swarming the show, specifically including one John Hoey of the Star Wars League, and also of being awesome and living in the Northeast and having an adorable family. We will be having John Kaiser, of all people. Like, why he would even show up, I don't know. Oh, except he's our fearless leader. We will be having Robert the Spider Parker. We might even be able to find out he'll be playing in the Inner Geekdom final. So we might be able to get a scoop on that next week. Let's see. Who else is confirmed to be there? Oh, you know what? I will also tease a non-dungeon person who I'm waiting for the official concrete yes, but I'm confident that I'm shaming them enough because of their previous cancellation that they will be able to join us. Tom Dagnino of the Finstock Exchange to finally play a game with Trevor. So,
oh, that sounded bad. That
did sound terrible. A game about movies that only deals with words and has no consequences whatsoever.
Cool. That yeah. So this is also the first time I'm hearing any of this, everybody.
Trevor has no idea.
I have no idea what is playing.
And you know what? Hold on. I want to give one more little bit. So Dan specifically has written a game for Trevor.
Uh-oh.
Exactly. Uh-oh is the exact right reaction.
Cool.
Oh, and then we just received another one, by the way.
Another one. Thank you, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right, him and Hudson. My mother really wants to take me to Dear Evan Hansen. Should I go see it with her, or is the movie bad enough to the point that I should turn down her paying for my ticket and food and do something else with that 2 hours?
I mean, it depends. Like, I can understand if you're willing to overlook certain things about the movie. Like, for example, everyone in my theater, I heard like 16 different women like snotting into their hoodies, or like someone actually brought a thing of tissues and a blanket. Like, if that is your jam, if you're okay with like, I can overlook that he's old because he's a fabulous singer. Okay, cool. I can overlook some of the small granular ways in which they may have had a damaging portrayal of mental illness. Sure. Like, it's okay to overlook those things as long as you're okay with it. If she would like it, if it gives her some joy, take her to the joy. I think it's good to talk about these things afterward, though, just so that way, even if you like it, as long as you understand its issues and why other people did have issues with it, go have some joy if you want to have joy. But if you'd rather just like go get dinner and froyo and then go home and throw on like something awesome on Netflix, like Green Lantern, then do that instead.
Don't do that.
Ignore Trevor. He's young. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
See another Chabansky. I don't know how to pronounce his name. See another, like Perks of Being a Wallflower, Wonder, great movies. See another one of his movies. If you want like a similar vibe, but like good. Is it Steven Shabonsky?
I don't have confirmation on proper pronunciation, but I think we all understand what you're saying, which is the most important thing.
Steven Shabosky. See another one of his movies, because there's like Perks of Being a Wallflower and Wonder are like two personal favorites of mine. They're really good.
I was really surprised. I actually was very concerned that Wonder might come across badly, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. All right. Other stuff. So I think that the bare bones of this plot could work, just a bit better. Like if okay, this isn't a good thing to say about a movie. I think that this movie could have been really good if Evan Hansen wasn't in the movie. If the story played out, but Evan Hansen wasn't in it, I think it could have been a really interesting movie, and you could just focus on the school dealing with this, like the suicide of this person who none of them were really close with, but then kind of rallying together to like support him and support the family. And maybe we could have focused a bit more on Amanda Stenberg's character, please.
Especially because like I identify with her so much, and I had a suspicion early on. I was like, please let her be the high functioning, depressive, anxiety ridden young person, because I do think that a lot of people would find it very surprising that, I can suffer from major depression and anxiety. Granted, yes, I'm medicated, and yes, I have professional help, even though it's through the VA, which means it's only so helpful. But I I identify so much with the idea that like I associate my self-worth so much with accomplishment that I do all of the things. So I think that is such a great thing to show people, is that it's not just outward anxiety driven, like that there's like a physical visceral reaction with every person that suffers from anxiety or from depression, that it can be channeled elsewhere, and that that's also equally unhealthy. Like she found a way in a balance with it, but it can be really, really unhealthy too, to like drive yourself that way. So I wanted more of her.
Agreed. Like I completely agree. I related so much with her character. Yeah, Garth, let's put it on Twitter and get me famous. So
Aren't you already famous?
From this, yeah. I'm famous from
No,
the
you're the
basement.
reason people show up here. I'm your guest.
But yeah, no, I very much related to Amanda Stenberg's character, and yeah, I really would have liked let's get the Trevor cut of Dear Evan Hansen, like without Evan Hansen and with more Amanda Stenberg. Let's focus on Amanda Stenberg. Remove Ben Platt. We got a good
Or at
movie
least
on our
let's
hands,
just put him
folks.
back on the stage. Let him just go back and win
He's good at
Tonys
that.
and stuff. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so I think that a lot of the smaller like coming of age stuff works because that's where Chbosky, I think, thrives. Like I think that the stuff with his mom, and I think that I think that some of the stuff with Caitlin Diver worked out of the context of how messed up it was. Out of that context, just looking at it isolated, like I think that kind of works.
I
But
really
like
liked her song where she was starting to process her grief.
yeah, like I said, all three of like the leading, even like Julianne Moore, all three of the leading female performances in this are pretty good. Thank you, Hitman. But yeah, I just anything where it got into the Evan Connor stuff just didn't work. Also the movie is way too long. 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Well, also, like, there's a really big shift in tone. Like, for example, like, first act, especially like right after everything has happened and they're writing the emails, like that really plucky, funny, ha ha song where like Connor is popping in and saying all the things that his friend is writing for him, and then he's correcting him, and all of this in real time. That was fun, peppy. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think they definitely touched on the gravity of suicide before that. So I think it was okay to kind of pivot, but never again in the movie did I feel that kind of like levity and like punchy humor. And so it felt really out of place at the end of the movie where I was like, why did I hear the fun suicide song at one point? Like, sort of,
Right.
like the let's make up a relationship with somebody who was really terribly troubled and alone.
Okay, so musicals are musicals, I would say just in nature are supposed to be fun. That doesn't mean that they can tackle dramatic concepts. A lot of musicals do tackle very dramatic and even dark like concepts and look at things through a darker lens. But it's a musical. So like, and how you can use music, like I think that musicals are much easier to like be good, at least for me. Like it's very easy to make me like a musical. Just use all your musical cues in the right way, bring a good song back at the end, and I'm happy. I like musicals, but this managed to mess up just like the basics of what makes a movie musical work by just using those songs, because like using that song again was just uncomfortable. Like the entire like last 30 minutes of the movie, I just felt uncomfortable. Like it didn't work. Like, so this is what I kind of texted you before we started. So also at the beginning, I feel like it focused like all of his anxiety at the beginning of the movie where it's introducing Evan Hansen has anxiety. It's all shown through like awkward situations. In like situations that like, sure, anxiety is definitely going to amplify that situation, but anybody could get embarrassed in an awkward situation. So
like the stuff that worked the most was when he was talking about like ordering food and having to talk to delivery drivers, because I know it sounds so silly, but like that's one of my things. I know it's stupid. It's irrational. I'm not comfortable talking to strangers on the telephone. Like, I'm a little more comfortable, surprisingly, talking with a stranger in person. But I think it's partially because I'm actually one of those weird people where even though you would think it would make me more anxious, I'm actually less anxious when I have eye contact and I talk to someone. And I think it's because I'm okay with them seeing me because I'm choosing to talk to them. But like
Right.
people on the phone, especially because, like I've mentioned many, many times, I grew up around someone who was deaf. So I also I've been told, and some people have kind of criticized, and it's fine. I'm hyper expressive with my face and I gesture a
Mhm.
lot. And that's because a lot of the cues in ASL come from like what you're doing with your eyebrows, what you're doing with your, not just with your hands, with language, but like with the bigger the gesture, it can change what a sign means. So, like talking on a phone, I can't communicate what I feel to somebody. And so I'm worried they're judging me. And so, like, him not wanting to order food for himself and not eating dinner because of anxiety, that's something to talk about because
Yeah.
it's changing and altering your life in a way that is not affecting regular people. Like you
That
mentioned, like, okay, teenage angst. Everyone has like those
right.
awkward first day of school things and people misunderstanding what you're saying to them or doing with them because it's puberty and it's high school.
Right. So like
That's like
that
everyone has it.
but what you're saying, like that perfectly works for me. That's why I don't like texting people because I feel like I can't like perfectly express like the tone and like emotion of my voice. So like I'll prefer like talking to somebody physically just because it's so much harder to like get across the tone and like that I stress out over. "Oh, don't want to incorrectly put across tone." So like yeah, that stuff worked, but like you were saying, like it focused so much on establishing, hey, he has anxiety in situations where I would just say the average person would probably get a little bit anxious. So like I and then it tried to blame his terrible actions on that anxiety and mental health issues, which were poorly established. So then it just felt like it was saying, well, this person did a bad thing, but they have anxiety. So like, yeah, now he's okay. Like that's not, I don't know. It felt so wrong. Like, it felt so wrong, and then again, like I was saying, like, I don't care about Evan Hansen at all. I like, it tries its best to make me care about him. I should very much relate to this character. I don't care about him at all, and then again, with him, like, the implication that he was trying to do this to get with the girl is just it's this movie just feels like it feels icky. Like, it's just I don't wanna be near it. So yeah, it's ugh.
I feel like we're going to talk about this again a little bit next week. Um, by the way, we did get in another Streamlabs, which put
Ooh.
us over our next $10 threshold. So after you read it and we discuss it, we're going to give another tease about next week's special birthday extravaganza.
All right. Just Rush and Dog Day Afternoon and about to watch The Evil Dead. Which one? In y'all's
I'm assuming
opinion,
original.
I'm assuming too. I've never seen it. I'm actually gonna watch it for the first time in the coming weeks as well. What is the best auto racing movie and what is the best bank robbery movie? Well, clearly the best auto racing movie is Cars.
See, okay, Hitman Hudson. I was going to say Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
That's
Um, but no, I mean, Rush is fantastic. I was
it's
talking
really
about
good.
that with Jacob London and Taylor Robinson the other day. Fantastic movie. I also really love Days of Thunder, like the one that spawned Talladega Nights. Really like that movie.
Yeah.
Bank
What
robbery
bank
movie.
robbery
I mean,
movie?
I know Dog Day Afternoon, but I also really like. Oh my God, its name just popped right out of my head. I can't believe this. Inside Man. I love that movie. Denzel, Clive Owen. It's a good one.
Yeah. I don't know about bank rob so okay. I I really like I don't know if you call them bank robbing movies, but it's a heist. I get like I really do like the Ocean's movies. I marathoned them all within an afternoon, which was a really fun experience. I know that's such like a normal answer, but I don't know. I like the Ocean's movies. Um, trying to think. Would you count like Bonnie and Clyde?
Sure, why not?
I mean, I count it. It's a good movie. It's because that was like kind of part of like I'm interested. I've always been very interested in like that time period of like the revolution away from the studio system, and that was one of the first in I think 1967. I want to say, because it was kind of like we aren't going to be with MGM or and all the big studios, and it kind of broke that down in like the 60s and 70s, and that was the emergence of like independent films like Star Wars, and then later like Do the Right Thing and Pulp Fiction that kind of carried it along. So tangent, but I gave a couple answers. If you're not first,
by the way, so we're over our next threshold, which means that I think I can give away part of our theme besides it being birthday. We are going to have a roast.
Nice.
It's not going to be of meats or meat alternatives. It's going to be of Trevor. So, as most roasts go, though, let's not be surprised when we all are making fun of ourselves and each other wholeheartedly, and it won't just be focused on Trevor, but we've got some really good, definitely age-related, a lot of age-related humor here, because it's a birthday.
That makes a lot of sense because I bring up my age a lot.
That wouldn't possibly be a joke someone was going to make about you. Wouldn't even have thought about it.
Definitely not. So we talked about the idea of this before. The first thing I said, I bet you over 50% of people are going to make jokes about how much I bring up how young I am.
Could happen. Couldn't possibly say if I've seen some of this material yet or not, and if any of it is good, but I've seen it and it's good.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Oh God, this is not okay. Yo, good. You broke Trevor. Good job, Ken. Well, guys, that's our show.
That's the end of the show.
I feel like it tastes like chicken. I don't think I've ever heard that exact noise come out of your face before, and I've definitely made you laugh a lot. Oh, good grief. Well, you know what? If it doesn't go off the rails, it's not a show. So, if I ever go back to a nuclear plant, someone's going to dig this up and send this to the headhunter and be like, not her. Anyone but her.
We don't want the boss baby lady.
The boss baby lady? I don't like that at all. Why can't I be the family lady?
I feel it.
I'm sorry, this is not entertaining at all anymore. I'm gonna play this back for Dan. He's gonna be so embarrassed. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna stop now, I promise.
End of the show, everybody.
Yeah. Oh man, this is like such a compliment.
Yeah.
I love that he's the male me, not I'm the female him. That's what makes it such a darn good compliment. Thank you very much.
Evan Hansen.
Oh God, Trevor, where can people find you? Besides apparently over a spit. This has devolved. I know. I'm an adult person. I know I am, but I'm not acting like it.
You can find me on.
I know this is probably not entertaining at all, but it's really funny for me. This was the beginning of the end.
It's like the Seth Rogen movie. This is the end. Um, you can find me on Letterboxd at Trevor Matteson, Matteson. There's a weird E in there. I'm on YouTube. Trevor Matteson Talks Movies. Same spelling because it is still my last name. I haven't been doing stuff recently, but I'm working on some stuff. I'm working on an Oscar show with a friend, so that'll be fun. And I'm writing some video essays.
Ooh, I like that. I'm very excited.
Yeah. And you can find Mara laughing at pictures of the Boss Baby.
Yep. And I'm imminently going to be running into the next room where I will be watching what remains of Green Lantern with Dan and the Patreon. So I might see somebody, a person or two over there. Sorry about the overlap, but we just had to talk Dear Evan Hansen, and it was just a scheduling thing. But please, everyone, clear your calendars. There are going to be little tidbits of delicious information about next week's episode, celebrating all things Trevor. 100% of every single Streamlab that we get will go to Trevor buying Blu-rays or going to college, or anything in between there involving gluten-free Oreos or something. So yes. Please stop by. I'm going to be tweeting out some details about our goals. We're going to have one real big goal in mind, and it's going to be a doozy. So please tune in. Please stay posted for those updates. And just one more time before we go, I feel like we just gotta.
There's so much context with this image now. We've been through so many things with this image. We've been through a lot with it.
Goodbye, everybody.